Hello, welcome to my channel. Before proceeding to study, please subscribe to my channel. Today, we will explore the fascinating world of English for communication. We'll dive into key concepts like introduction, meaning and significance, process of communication, oral and written communication. Slide 1. Introduction to communication. Welcome to the chapter on communication. In this section, we'll lay the groundwork by understanding what communication is all about. At its core, communication is the process of sharing information, ideas, or even feelings from one person or group to another. Think about it in your daily life, talking to a friend, sending a text message, even the expressions on your face, these are all acts of communication. The significance of this process is immense. It's not just about passing on facts, it's the very foundation of how we interact as human beings, how we learn from each other, and how our societies function. Without communication, we wouldn't be able to build relationships, share knowledge, or work together. The term ubiquitous means existing or being everywhere at the same time. Communication is truly ubiquitous, it's present in every aspect of our lives. From the moment we wake up and interact with family to our interactions in college, with friends, and even when we consume media, communication is constantly at play. Its significance lies in the fact that it profoundly shapes our relationships, influences our career paths, and forms the basis of our understanding of the world around us. Furthermore, communication is multifaceted, meaning it has many different aspects and involves various forms, channels, the ways we communicate, and contexts, the situations in which communication happens. For example, the way you talk to a professor will likely be different from how you talk to a close friend. The significance here is that being able to adapt your communication style to different situations is absolutely crucial for being an effective communicator. What works in one setting might not work in another. Over the next few slides, our focus will be on understanding the fundamental aspects of communication. We'll explore its meaning and why it's so important, we'll break down the steps involved in the communication process, and we'll look at two primary ways we communicate, through spoken words, oral communication, and through written words, written communication. Slide 2. Meaning and significance of communication. Now, let's delve deeper into the meaning and significance of communication. The meaning of communication goes beyond just a one-way transmission of information. It's really a two-way process aimed at achieving mutual understanding. This means that when we communicate effectively, both the sender and the receiver of the message work together to grasp the intended meaning. It's not just about one person talking and another listening. It involves an exchange where participants not only send, encode, and receive, decode, information, news, ideas, and feelings but also actively create and share meaning. This interactive nature, where meaning is constructed together, is what makes communication truly powerful. Understanding this meaning leads us to appreciate the profound significance of communication. Here are several key reasons why communication is so important. 1. Building relationships. Communication is the cornerstone of all our relationships, both personal and professional. It's how we establish initial connections, how we maintain and nurture those bonds over time, and how we strengthen the trust and understanding between people. 2. Sharing information. One of the most obvious roles of communication is to enable the exchange of facts, knowledge, and instructions. Whether it's a teacher explaining a concept, a friend giving directions, or a report conveying data, communication allows us to share what we know. 3. Expressing emotions. Communication isn't just about facts, it's also how we convey our feelings and understand the emotions of others. Our tone of voice, facial expressions, and even our written words can communicate happiness, sadness, anger, or excitement. 4. Making decisions. In many situations, especially in group settings, communication is essential for discussions and collaborations that lead to informed choices. By sharing ideas, debating options, and reaching a consensus, we use communication to make effective decisions. 5. Resolving conflicts. Disagreements and conflicts are a natural part of human interaction. Communication provides a vital means to understand different perspectives, identify the root causes of conflict, and work towards finding mutually acceptable solutions. 6. Achieving goals. Whether it's an individual striving for a personal goal or a team working on a project, communication is crucial for coordinating efforts, delegating tasks, and ensuring everyone is on the same page to reach those objectives. 7. Promoting learning. Education and the acquisition of knowledge are fundamentally based on communication. Teachers impart information, students ask questions, and ideas are discussed and debated, all through various forms of communication. 8. Fostering understanding. Effective communication helps bridge gaps in perspectives and promotes empathy. By actively listening and clearly expressing ourselves, we can better understand where others are coming from, even if we don't always agree. 9. Driving social change. Throughout history, communication has been a powerful tool for influencing opinions, mobilizing people, and bringing about social change. From speeches to written manifestos to social media campaigns, communication can shape societies. Slide 3. Process of communication. To better understand how communication works, let's break down the process of communication. This involves a series of interconnected steps that occur when a message is conveyed from a sender to a receiver. Understanding this process is important because it helps us identify potential points where communication might break down and allows us to think about how to communicate more effectively. Here are the key elements of the communication process. 1. Sender, encoder. This is the individual or group who initiates the communication process by having an idea or wanting to convey information. For example, a teacher who wants to explain a new grammatical rule to their students acts as the sender. 2. Message. This is the actual information, idea, or feeling that the sender wants to communicate. In our example, the message is the explanation of the grammatical rule. 3. Encoding. This is the process by which the sender converts the message into a transmittable form. This could involve choosing specific words, using symbols, or even employing body language. The teacher, for instance, will choose specific words and examples to explain the rule. This is encoding. 4. Channel, medium. This is the means through which the encoded message travels from the sender to the receiver. Common channels include spoken words in a face-to-face conversation, written text in an email or a book, a phone call, or even a visual presentation. In the classroom, the channel might be the teacher's spoken words and visual aids on a board. 5. Receiver, decoder. This is the individual or group who receives the message. In our example, the students listening to the teacher's explanation are the receivers. 6. Decoding. This is the process by which the receiver interprets the message to understand its meaning. The receiver tries to make sense of the words, symbols, or other cues they receive. The students will listen to the teacher and try to understand the grammatical rule. This is decoding. 7. Feedback. This is the receiver's response to the message. It can be verbal, like asking a question, or non-verbal, like nodding in understanding or looking confused. Feedback indicates whether the message has been received and understood. If students ask questions, that's feedback to the teacher. 8. Context. This refers to the overall situation, environment, or circumstances in which the communication occurs. The context can significantly influence how a message is sent and received. A formal classroom setting has a different communication context than a casual conversation among friends. 9. Noise, barriers. This is any interference that hinders the effective transmission or reception of the message. Noise can be physical, like distractions or loud sounds, semantic, like using unclear language or jargon, or cultural, like differences in understanding symbols or norms. If there's a lot of noise outside the classroom, it could be a barrier to effective communication. Slide 4. Oral communication. Now, let's focus on oral communication, which is the exchange of information and ideas through spoken words. This is a very direct and often immediate form of communication that we use constantly in our daily lives. The significance of oral communication lies in its immediacy and the personal connection it can foster. Think about face-to-face conversations, presentations you might give in class, phone calls with friends or family. These all rely on the power of spoken language. Here are some key advantages of oral communication. 1. Immediacy of feedback. One of the biggest advantages is that it allows for instant feedback. If the receiver doesn't understand something, they can ask for clarification right away, leading to better understanding. 2. Personal connection. The use of voice, tone, and body language in oral communication helps build rapport and trust between people, creating a stronger personal connection. 3. Adaptability. When speaking, you can often adjust your message in real time based on the receiver's reactions. If you see someone looking confused, you can rephrase or provide more examples. 4. Richness of nonverbal cues. Oral communication is often accompanied by nonverbal cues like tone of voice, facial expressions, and gestures, which can add layers of meaning to the spoken words. 5. Efficiency for quick exchanges. For conveying simple information or having brief discussions, oral communication can be a very efficient way to get your point across quickly. 6. Promotes collaboration. Spoken discussions often encourage spontaneous interaction, brainstorming of ideas, and collaborative problem solving. 7. Stronger emotional impact. The human voice can be a powerful tool for conveying emotions more effectively than written words alone. 8. Accessibility for some. For individuals with certain learning disabilities or those who are not fully literate, oral communication can be a more accessible and effective way to receive and share information. 9. Flexibility in language. Oral communication often allows for the use of informal language, colloquialisms, and a more conversational style. Slide 5. Written communication. Finally, let's discuss written communication, which involves the exchange of information and ideas through written words. This form of communication provides a documented and often more formal way to convey messages. The significance of written communication is that it provides a lasting record and allows for more careful planning and consideration of the message. Examples include emails you send, reports you might write for college, letters, memos, and even social media posts. Here are some key advantages of written communication. 1. Provides a record. Unlike spoken words which can be forgotten or misinterpreted, written communication offers a permanent document that can be referred to in the future. 2. Allows for careful planning. Before sending a written message, the sender has the opportunity to organize their thoughts, draft the message, and revise it to ensure clarity and accuracy. 3. Reaches a large audience. Written documents, especially in digital formats, can be easily distributed to a wide audience, regardless of geographical location. 4. Facilitates complex information. Written communication is often better suited for conveying detailed and intricate information that might be difficult to follow or remember if spoken. 5. Reduces misinterpretation. With clarity, when written clearly and precisely, it can minimize ambiguity and the chances of misinterpretation. 6. Legal validity. In many contexts, written documents carry legal weight and can serve as important evidence. 7. Time flexibility for receiver. The receiver of a written message can process the information at their own pace and revisit it as needed. 8. Consistency in message. When the same information needs to be conveyed to multiple people, written communication ensures that all recipients receive the exact same message. 9. Professionalism. In many professional settings, written communication is often perceived as more formal and professional, contributing to a positive image.